frozen yogurt.
The segue is when you have your frozen yogurt,
Here we go.
you don't want to sprinkle too much shit on top, right? Because
I'm with you.
You're modifying what
with
it's
you.
supposed to be.
I'm with you.
Right?
I'm with you.
Keep it what it is.
Keep it simple.
I don't like people that put like,
keep it
listen,
simple,
bro.
keep it simple.
Listen, bro. All right, I'm bringing this back. I'm bringing this back.
Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back.
I'm bringing it back.
I'm bringing it back.
Hey guys, welcome to the Cameraman Show. My name is Manav.
And I'm Kartik.
And on this podcast, we talk all things weddings, cameras, and business.
Nailed it. You nailed it.
Yeah,
So
I'm
proud
getting
of you.
better at
so
this
proud of you, man.
But I have a story, and this happened a while ago. And I'm just going to read it out to you.
Tell me.
And which is going to segue into why are we talking about this first of all, and what today's episode is about.
Let's hear it. Let's do it.
All right, dozens of brides, this happened a few months ago, and this is a Channel 9 thing. Dozens of brides and grooms fear they'll never get their wedding photos after their photographer left the country. Right? Numerous couples had booked well-known Sydney brand, I'm not going to say the name, but whatever, you can just go on Channel 9 and check it out, for their big day, only to be left in the lurch. Monica and John had booked blah, blah, blah for their big day in September, and they paid this person $6,000 deposit. 6,000 is quite a lot as a photographer deposit, right?
Do you reckon that's 20 or 50%?
That seems like more of like a 50% or even more than
80, 75% or something?
Could even be 50%.
Yeah.
Right?
Fuck.
But just weeks out from the wedding, they couldn't get in touch with him. He was not responsive by email. I couldn't get in touch with him through phone calls. He was just, off the grid, Monica said, right? Just days after, the couple received an email from this person telling them that his clients, he'd sold off his business to another Sydney photographer, right?
Oh, no.
And I'm not going to say names again, but basically he told the couples that he sold off his business to another well-known photographer already in the country, right?
No.
And now they were responsible for all his bookings.
Oh, fuck. This is bad. This is so bad.
Right? So the email started, the sale included all previous and current bookings along with copies and hard drives of albums.
Oh, shit.
Right?
So I would imagine it's stuff that's not been even sent out just yet for weddings. Oh, no.
So he's basically sold this off to another photographer saying that, if the other photographer knows, right, that he's taking on all this.
Yeah, but obviously
right?
that photographer didn't know that this photographer's into a fucking dodge.
Yeah.
And
so with their wedding just 3 weeks away, they panicked and they contacted the other new photographer who was responsible now for all this, right? Only to be told by the owner of that company that just apparently bought this other company, right, that he wouldn't be shooting their wedding and he had only bought the business name, not the assets or bookings.
Fuck. That's messed up, bro. Legit. Yeah. Wow. Holy shit.
Also, a bride that was affected by this also contacted me as well, asking me if I was available.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this
all
is
right.
like
So this has now come around to you too.
Yeah, it's come around to me as well. And
Holy
she was like,
shit.
our photographer's done a runner. Are you available on a wedding day? Blah, blah, blah. So it happened.
Wow.
I got in touch with one of the brides as well. Anyway, so the guy who's the new business, who's apparently bought this business now, he was able to come and save the day for this person, and he captured their wedding day.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
Last
So
minute.
someone
Good
came
on
through.
him.
Good on him.
Good on him.
Good on him. Yeah.
Doing the right thing, even though he had no obligation
No
to
obligation
at all,
to,
right?
yeah,
Because he really
yeah.
doesn't know what is going on, on his side.
Correct.
He says that he's been contacted by more than 10 couples who have been left in the lurch by this person.
Okay, so hang on. 10
large
couples.
deposits.
Let's just assume they all did $6,000 deposits each. 60
60K.
grand worth
And
of
this
couples.
is only one photographer that's getting contacted.
Fuck, who knows
Imagine
about,
how many other people
so many
are,
other
right?
people.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this guy's probably like taking
He did a runner. He proper did a runner.
He's probably taking like 200-300K in deposits, I reckon.
Must have.
And if you know you're going to do a runner like that, you take on everything.
You take everything.
There's no such thing as
bro,
a
if
day
you're doing a
booked
runner
out.
with one, you may as well do a runner with everyone.
Like now, if we're booked out for a certain date, right? And another
you will just double book upon double book
triple
upon
book, 10 times book.
shit.
Because you'd be like, I'm available.
Yeah.
Because you know you're not going to do any of these weddings anyway, right? No. So who even knows how much this guy's
money
done,
this guy
right?
took, yeah.
So she's like, it's extremely stressful. People booked a year ahead and they lost some money. Maybe there's plenty of time to reorganize things, but 2 or 3 weeks out, you can't really do much,
and
right?
I guarantee these people ain't getting their deposits back. So it's pretty gone. It's pretty much gone. You're fucked.
Yeah.
You're
So this Channel 9 News, they got in touch with this new business and they're asking what the fuck's going on. Like this guy's apparently sold his business to you, right? And you're supposed to be looking after all these clients. To which he responded basically, he said, I but he maintained that he just bought the name, not the entire business, instead of turning us away to speak. Right. So basically, he just told him that I'm not responsible for any bookings, any current or future bookings.
I just bought the brand name.
I just bought the brand name because that's all this guy told him about that. Basically, right.
So he obviously lied to the other photographer.
He lied to the photographer. He lied to the clients. Everyone. Right. And he says we're talking out in court. Blah blah. He said. Client was so basically this guy's lawyer is saying that his client is an innocent third party. He had no idea even what this photographer was doing to couples. The same thing he did to the couples is done to the photographer. He's taking him for a ride.
Okay, so basically this is fucked. Everything's fucked.
20 grand is what this guy paid as well to buy the name of the guy's business.
Okay.
So on top of all the 6K, whatever,
he's now made 20 grand.
Another photographer for 20K as well.
Wow, that's pretty shit.
Yeah.
That's pretty shit.
Yeah.
All right, okay. So let's discuss this now because this is a bit messed up.
Yeah.
The
segue from this basically into what we're going to be talking about today is today's topic is red flag photographers, right? Last week, if you guys heard a podcast, it was about red flag clients.
Yes.
From a photographer's point of view.
We were very passionate about that topic.
Yeah. So from photographer's point of view, what is like a red flag client? How to identify a red flag client?
Yes.
The kind of stuff you want to avoid.
All of that bad stuff.
With this week, we're literally going to flip the script, and this is all about now from a client's perspective, what kind of a photographer when booking for your wedding is a red flag photographer.
Things to look out for. Very interesting because I think there are a lot of photographers out there, and evidently there are also photographers you should not be booking. Case in point, this dickhead over here that did a runner, which is obviously really shit and nothing that any couple should go through. But Manav and I have collated a list and we're so excited to bring this to you because we do want to be pretty neutral on this. Like, I feel like last week's episode, we were very passionate about all the things that we look out for. It's equally fair that anyone who is a potential client or a couple getting married hears this out and goes, okay, we're on search for a photographer or a videographer. What are the things we as couples should now look out for? And, you know, we've been shooting for nearly 10 years each and we have a lot of experience about things that we know is just pure, plain and simply wrong. Just wrong. And so I'm excited to get into this episode because it's going to be a pretty lengthy one as well.
Yeah, and I feel like last week it could have come across that we were being a bit harsh on couples, even though we tried to be very like neutral in the last weeks as well. But it could have been like, oh, these guys don't care. Like,
I don't want it to be like, oh, fuck these guys, they only care about themselves. No, that's not true. Like that is also true.
This week is going to be more about like what we're going to put ourselves in the shoes of a client and we are now trying to book a photographer for our wedding and these are the things that we think would be a red flag.
Correct.
And the first one I think we're just going to jump straight in is lack of portfolio.
Yes. Explain.
Now if you like we talked about this on another podcast about the photographer who deleted everyone's photos and remember he was like a dog photographer or something and someone booked him to shoot their weddings. If your photographer that you're trying to book does not even have a portfolio of doing weddings, right? Then if something screws up, it's 100% on you as a client.
100%.
Right? 100% on you as a client. I'm not saying that doesn't mean you don't give new photographers a go because obviously we started somewhere. We didn't have a portfolio at a certain time. Someone risked their wedding with us, right? But it was a risk at that time. And we could have screwed up at that point when someone paid us to start off the first wedding or whatever. And if we screwed up and we didn't do a good job, that would have been...
That's on us. That's on us.
Yeah. But also on the couple because they know that they're going with a new person.
Also true.
And they don't have any portfolio, right?
Yeah, so the lack of portfolio is really interesting. So every time a couple looks at a vendor, not just photography, videography, by the way, anyone within the wedding scene, hair and makeup, DJ, decor, whatever, you name it, they should have a portfolio to display their stuff, right? And what I mean by that is an Instagram page, potentially a website, also even better. Reviews or someone who's actually booked this person before. So some level of word of mouth. But the onus is on the couple to do their due diligence and find out, again, barring instances like this where this guy actually had a portfolio, the guy that we started off with.
This is a bit of a weird one.
It's a bit of a weird one. Obviously, he's a bit of a dick because he did the dodge. And
but the thing is, like, it's a weird one because people that booked with him,
they thought surely
this guy's been around for years.
They thought surely he wouldn't do a runner. And next minute he does a runner.
And this is just like a shitty situation. Like, I don't think this is like a client's fault for booking this guy. Because obviously they looked at his portfolio. He's been around for like, years and years, right?
Years.
And like obviously he had good photos on his Instagram, everything.
So barring
as well.
that exclusion of that story, that was the extreme, which doesn't happen, hopefully not as often as we think. But in regards to this point, yes, like being key with knowing the fact that your vendors have portfolios and you can scroll and, by the way, see a consistency. And that word's very important, consistency. Because what I mean by that is don't, for the life of you, book a photographer who's got fucking kutta photos and display photos of like fucking sceneries and cats and shit. Like, no, get a wedding photographer who has people, who have couples. Why the hell would you hire a wedding photographer that's got dogs on their profiles and
or doesn't have any portfolio
or don't have
at all?
Any portfolio at all? Like, that's you're shooting yourself in the foot by doing that.
Yeah.
And that's something that I'm very I caution people on, because if you're a couple and you're not seeing the consistency and you're not seeing the same look and feel, and if you're not seeing the same repetition of output, there's a problem there. And you go with that, vendor, there's a problem there.
Yeah.
Because again, we're opening ourselves up to risk about if we go with that photographer and they don't have a consistent level of output, we're screwed.
Yeah. And what do you think about like photographers that have like unrealistically low prices?
Interesting.
Because I thought that could be potentially like a red flag for a photographer.
Interesting. We spoke about this actually in the last episode about how photographers can charge a variety of like $500 to 20 grand on prices, right? I think from my take, like it could look as if someone's just undercharging. They've built up a brand, they've built up a business, they're just undercharging to get volume and then do an average to bare minimum job.
Yeah.
Like your price should reflect your work, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And sometimes when someone comes across where they're a little bit undercharging, or not a little bit, even a lot, and it doesn't marry up, I feel a bit concerned. Like, why aren't I being charged a particular amount? Does that mean you're not going to perform because you don't really give a shit? Or maybe you're just undercutting everybody else, which is more of an ethical thing. But what are your thoughts on that?
I think you're right, but what's directly linked with this is like you might come across a photographer, for example, who's charging like $1,000. Let's just say $1,000 is very cheap. Okay. Yeah. And let's say this, just for this example's sake, let's say $5,000 is what everyone else is charging in the industry. And now you're hiring a photographer that's charging $1,000. And you go on the Instagram and you look at their photos and they look all right. Right.
Okay. So they're okay.
They're okay. Like you think, oh, this is all right. Like this guy's doing a decent job and I'm going to hire this person. Why would I pay someone $5,000? I'm going to pay this guy $1,000, right? But a lot of the times what would end up happening is that these guys don't provide full galleries to their clients, right?
Oh,
and so
what the fuck?
Yeah, so think about it. Like usually a lot of photographers are going to put up like their best work on Instagram.
Yeah, of course.
Right? But their full gallery probably looks like shit.
Oh no!
Or doesn't not look like shit, but it's just not up to the par of the Instagram,
like
whatever, right?
It's bad.
Yeah,
it's basically bad. Yeah,
but not only because like the 10 or 20 or 30 photos that you've seen on the Instagram, you end up booking them, right?
Yeah. And a lot of couples don't know that, by the way. A lot of couples don't know that you can actually go to a photographer and be like, "Hey, can I request to see a full gallery?"
Yeah.
And that would be a better indication, technically speaking,
of what your expectations
are going to be like, because now you can actually see, okay, so this is what a full gallery looks like. It's not all just wham, bam, and glam with the most requested photo on Instagram to be posted there and then
like your post-wedding shoot sunset photo or something.
You should see some level of consistency in like the skill and output throughout an entire gallery. Now, I caveat by saying that a home photo of a bride in just average lighting, of course, isn't going to be the most grandiose and
that's okay.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be the most grandiose.
The whole gallery isn't supposed to look like your sunset photos.
The biggest concern that I have is when couples think, and I'm not trying to digress, but it's like, just be realistic here, guys. Like a photo outside in a sunset at great lighting when you're wearing amazing outfits with your partner is definitely not going to look like a photo indoors with just incandescent lighting and you're in average, if anything, clothes, and you're maybe just like chilling there at some home event for your Indian wedding or whatever it is. Like, be really, like a bit more cautious about that, because people think that they're going to get the world for every single image. No, it doesn't really work that way. So that's why requesting an actual online gallery, a full gallery, is so important.
And
so
going
important.
back to the point, which is like, there's a reason that person is charging what they're charging, right? And now this reason could be, number one, that they're new to the business, right?
Yep.
Right, which is fine. Like you obviously undercharge when you're just starting out or whatever, right? It's fine. And once again, then the risk is on the couple. If you want to book someone new who doesn't have any portfolio, he might end up turning out to be like a great photographer, do an amazing job for your wedding. You guys get like the best photos. Or it could literally go the totally other way, where the guy probably doesn't even have any backup solutions. He loses all of your data.
He's a bit on,
right?
He shoots JPEGs.
shoots JPEGs, doesn't shoot RAW, doesn't edit photos properly. The work that's displayed on his Instagram is not even his own.
Oh, could be somebody
Could
else.
be someone else. And this has happened a lot of times to photographers where people will just like steal photos from other photographers and build like a random Instagram page.
Fuck, that's bad.
It's happened, and like a lot of people have been screwed over by this as well. Yeah.
Bro, there's some unethical shit going on. That's messed up.
Anyways, there's 10, 15 different, and mind you, like what you talked about, which is about you want to see a full gallery, right? As you said, that each photo doesn't have to be like a sunset photo, but like you want to see the person's indoor photos is using flash.
Yeah, correct. Clean.
Does he even have a flash?
Yeah, clean,
Right?
easily used, easily looked at shots.
So if you're charging $1,000, it might be that the guy's using like the minimal equipment possible, right? It doesn't have any flash. It doesn't have experience in using off-camera flashes. Like anything, right?
Yeah,
and then those indoor photos are just gonna look like shit.
Yeah, you need to be a bit more realistic with your price versus quality comparison. Your price should reflect your quality, in my opinion. And when the two don't match up, something doesn't seem right to me. Like something seems a bit off. Now you could look at it and go, maybe this person's just doing us a favor. Maybe they are, or maybe they're
really good.
Maybe they're really good.
They're just doing you a favor.
We have no idea. We have no idea. But take it with a pinch of salt and look at it just like logically and go, does this actually make sense to us? You know what I mean?
Third point, which happened, a client got back to me recently, just a random bride. And she's like, hey, we booked in a different vendor and they booked the vendor like a year ago or something before their wedding. And a few months out from the wedding, the vendor raised the prices on them.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. She's like, a vendor just raised the prices.
Hang on. I got a couple of, just wait.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me someone booked a vendor in, quoted
a year in advance,
XYZ, say $5,000.
I don't even know who this vendor is, by the way.
Sure.
It's like a random bride just contacted me, right? So it's a photographer in Sydney. I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
And they basically have raised the price on the couple that they booked a few months out.
Whoa, hang on.
I have no idea why.
Okay. This is a bit concerning because my first thing is, what the fuck is in their contract? Because you don't. I hope they signed a contract, by the way.
Imagine they didn't.
Oh, client's fault. Client's fault. Sorry. Just I know we're trying to be neutral here, but client's fault.
Yeah.
And I think this is actually a later point. We'll come back to this. But if you're not even signing a contract,
check out our contracts video. Episode 5, I think,
something like that. But if you're not signing a contract for your wedding photography, videography, you're fucked. You legitimately are fucked because again, it doesn't just protect the client, the photographer, videographer. It also protects you, the couple.
Yeah.
But do you reckon this person didn't have a contract in place?
Literally, like a main thing that contracts that saves you from is shit like this, right?
Yeah.
Where you agree to a price, it's written in the contract.
It's all in writing.
Your photographer can't raise the price because he's voiding the contract, right? Now,
guarantee this person didn't have this person didn't have a contract. Guaranteed. How else can they pull this stunt?
Yeah,
There's no way.
Yeah.
There's genuinely no way. That's fucking messed up, bro.
Yeah.
That's mess. That's cooked.
That's a proper red flag.
Yeah, 100%. You don't do that shit.
Last minute, like 3 months, 6 months out, you literally just raise the price.
Can I go back to the dating analogy now? Please. Okay, hear me out. So basically, in last week's episode, if you didn't check that out, then check that out. But I basically love my analogies. And for those of you who are listeners of the podcast, I talk about cakes as analogies. I talked about dating as analogies. Let's go back to the dating one as an analogy. All right, okay. So an analogy here is like going... So as a guy, I'm going on a date with a chick, right? And I've done the swipey with a chick, and I'd be like, oh, yeah, she looks all right. Yeah, 8 out of 10, 10 out of 10. It looks hot, right? Proper. Just hear me out. But she rocks up on the day as somebody else, and she doesn't look 10 out of 10. Okay. That right there is...
dare you, bro.
Yeah, 100%. Yuck. Yeah,
you misogynist piece of shit.
No, not me. That's not where we're going with this. No. I value what's on the inside as well. Right. But that's catfishing. That's what that is. Okay. That's what catfishing is.
So how does this relate back to what we're talking about?
Good question. Thank you for asking. How this relates back is your photographer just catfished you in saying, I'm going to be one thing and then turns out to be another, which means I'm going to price my business as $5,000 and turns out, no, sorry.
3 months out,
you're going to be paying 10K now. Yeah. Why? No reason. No fucking reason. I just decided to increase my prices. Are you cooked? Are you proper messed up?
Why would a person increase? Do you reckon he just like the photographer, like he or she, whoever it is, realized that they underquoted and now they're not going to make enough money, or what?
Potentially,
like,
I reckon they've probably gone, hey, you know what? I didn't factor in XYZ, right? And I now have to charge the client more. Option number 2 is going, I don't want to do this anymore. So fuck it. I'm going to just increase my prices. She can't pay, but then I don't have to do the wedding. That's really bad.
That's pretty messed up.
That's pretty messed up.
Wouldn't you rather just be like, hey, sorry, I can't do your wedding? So at least like...
Yeah, say it, but then give the
return
deposit back. Yeah, fuck
and
it.
say like it's a worst case scenario. Obviously, like it's really shitty, like 4 months out to do that to someone.
I can't justify it. Like I'm really on the side of the couple here. Like if I've signed a contract, which you should have. If I've signed a contract and the contract states 20% deposit, which is what most contracts do, 80% due 2 weeks from the wedding date, which is again pretty standard across the industry, or a month out, and that price is fixed and the price is written in the contract, that's what I'm expecting to be paying. And if that price isn't what it is, technically speaking, that's a break of contract. It's a breach of contract.
That's even if there is a contract.
That's even. Oh fuck! There wasn't a contract. There wasn't a contract.
I really think there's not a contract.
I swear to Jesus. I swear to God. There's not a contract. There's not a contract. You know why? Because then that client wouldn't have come back to you. She would have argued with the photographer and go, "Well, you can't legally do this, bruh." She could take that person to court. You can. That's what a contract is for. It's supposed to protect the photographer and the couple at the same time.
This really seems like they didn't have a contract.
I'm calling it out. That's bullshit. That person didn't have a contract, and they somehow perhaps had a verbal contract. And I think we've talked about this before. Yeah, fuck that shit.
Check out a contract video where in that podcast, which was episode 5, I think I talked about a client who did a verbal contract with me once.
Verbal contracts ain't mean shit.
They don't mean shit, bro.
Do that shit in 2024. If you're doing it, you're an idiot and you deserve to be in trouble.
Unless you're like recording your verbal contract on like a video or something, then fair enough. There's evidence there. There's evidence there.
Yeah, that's all right.
But like if you're just going to call someone and be like...
But yeah, generally don't do that shit. It's just not professional. Have something in writing always. So if you can take it back to your lawyer, you can show them exactly what it is. You know what I mean?
So another red flag, your vendor increases prices on you last minute.
That's a dodge.
Yeah.
The only time my prices increases, which is normal, is when you go over the hours. That's normal.
Or I just update my prices like every year or every 2 years.
Yeah, but
just
no one's signed
for like inflation or whatever.
Yeah. But no one...
But not to people that have already signed.
Correct.
Yeah.
What if, say, if I book someone for 2025, they're booking me on my 2024 prices.
Yeah, 100%.
So when 2025 comes around,
so
I want
kids book in advance.
Oh yeah, just a little golden nugget there. A little golden nugget
so
there.
you can get it for cheaper.
My prices will be increasing because inflation, bruh. That shit's real. It's here. It's now. It's happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that shit's messed up. You don't increase your prices unethically. That's just messed up. You don't do that. Like you don't go to a Thai restaurant.
Are you serious, bro?
I said this last time.
Are you serious?
You don't
why do you always come
I'm
back?
all about my analogies.
Have we not had Thai food in a while or something?
I actually really want Thai food. Maybe after this, if you want to.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm all right.
Oh. Well, what I was trying to say is you don't see a menu price.
Talk about your Thai food.
No, I'm saying it. I'm saying it. Fuck you. I'm telling you the analogy.
Sure.
You don't look at a menu and go, pad see you. One of my favorite action are satay chicken. Satay chicken. No, don't face palm me now. I know, no, fuck off. Satay chicken at $25. And then when the waiter comes, you go, oh, yeah, I'll get the satay chicken. They go, oh, no, it's actually $30. Nah, it's $25. So that's what that is. That's what that is.
Happy for you. Anyways, moving on.
To the
next point.
Next point.
Photographers that heavily manipulate their photos, i.e. using over-the-top Photoshop to make couples look not even like what they are.
Themselves.
Or like totally changing like how the day looked, I guess.
Oh, I've got a bit to share on this one. I know a vendor. I would not say what. I would not say anything.
Tell me off camera.
Nah, yeah, I'll tell you off camera. Actually, yeah, I'll tell you because you're going to be like, that's fucked.
Okay.
I know a vendor
Yeah.
that photoshops their clients' faces. Yep.
What do you mean?
I can't tell you what it is.
Clients' faces?
Yeah, they photoshop their clients' faces to distort the way they look.
Okay, the only thing I can think of is making them skinnier or something.
Yeah, you could look at that. You can think
Or
that.
does it
yeah.
make them like lighter or something? I don't know what it is.
I decline to answer.
Is this like Fair and Lovely?
I decline to answer.
But Photoshop,
I decline to
Photoshop
answer.
and Lovely? all the Western people are like, the fuck are you guys talking
I
about?
decline to answer. I know a vendor that does some not good stuff.
Okay.
Let's label a blanket rule as that.
Yeah.
And they'll physically change the face of their subject.
What's the point of bringing it up if you're not going to talk about
I
it?
know.
What? What's the worst that can happen?
I'm scared.
You get sued. Who gives a fuck?
That's true.
You can just move to London.
Set up shop there. But that's fucked up.
Yeah.
No, you don't do that. You don't do that. And if you're a client that wants that, that's a separate conversation.
It's weird. Like normally you would think like people don't like you want to see how you are on your wedding day, right? Like how things happened in like.
I feel like this is now going into a fucking body happiness, self-image sort of a conversation, right? And that's important. Like I'm not saying fuck it, change your body.
Yeah,
that's wrong.
That's a different topic.
Let's
come back to what we were talking
but
about.
what I think is if you want that stuff, like why do you want that stuff? First of all, which is that conversation. But bringing it back to here, it's manipulative. It's wrong.
Although with AI these days, you can do so much now.
Yeah.
Like you could literally give someone a new leg.
Yeah. Mad.
Yeah. Imagine if you're like a pirate.
Yeah.
You know, there's ones from Pirates of the Caribbean. There's one guy who has got like one leg or something.
You're cooked, bro.
Just AI another leg in.
Yeah, sure. I have AI stuff out.
Yeah.
But that's to distract.
The new thing is to AI in, bro, not out.
I want. Okay.
You gotta put a dinosaur in the background.
Mad.
Yeah.
I would pay a lot of money for that.
Yeah.
I actually would, but.
I think there's a photo that I saw where there's a couple running and they just Photoshop dinosaurs in the background chasing them.
I'm going to try this once, just for the lols. Sure. Yeah, I'll do it. If any couples...
At your wedding?
No. I would never do that shit. No.
At your wedding, because you love dinosaurs, don't you?
I love dinosaurs.
Yeah,
sorry. I'm like, what do you want about?
So at your wedding, we're going to get a photo of you running away.
Whenever that's going to happen.
Running away, right? And dinosaurs chasing you in the back.
Or
proper like Jurassic Park style.
To my future bride, whoever the fuck that's going to be okay with the fact that one photo
I'm going to have your mum sitting on the dinosaur.
Mad.
Like a horse style.
Riding the dinosaur.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
That's mad.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro.
It's a proper movie poster. Imagine your mum listening to this. She's like,
sorry, mom. Also, shout out to mom. She watches and listens to all the episodes. I digress. We digress. Yeah. Coming back. So if you're a client and you've looked at a photographer who does some heavy fucking, let's go with high-end fashion retouching, right? Because that is an industry that exists within commercial photography for clothing brands.
Yeah.
And we've got zoomed up faces of a fucking model, like doing one of these mongulated ones. But I think that's appropriate for that because that's one image on a poster billboard ad. And maybe there's a bit of Photoshop going on there. But that's not appropriate within weddings because it's not true to who you are. It's not the real you. I'm not saying you can't do a retouch every now and then, but across everything, no, that's not how that shit works. So if you're a client that's looked at a photographer that has this real weird fucked up skin grade going on and they look like, you know those photo booths back in 2012 that you go into and your skin is like glowing? That shit's a bit weird. You know what I mean? So if you look like that, no, that's weird. That's messed up. So look at your photographer. They do some high-end weird shit with their editing and it makes you look like a fairy. Get rid of them. Don't even book them.
You know, you were saying all that stuff and all I was thinking was that we should go get a froyo.
How?
I don't know. Something just came up.
No. Yeah, but how did?
I'm sorry. This is really off topic.
This has got nothing. You know what? Fuck you. I at least made.
You don't want to go?
I definitely want to go. No, my analogy.
You know why? You know why? We haven't hung out in a while.
Oh yeah, so that's coming through on the podcast.
Yeah, we should go. We got this like froyo shop that we go to. That
we should do a podcast episode. We should do a podcast episode where we just eat froyo and just talk. Taro flavor. If you'd like taro flavor, shout out.
Yeah. This might not even make it into the podcast.
I hope it does.
Yeah.
It's just I love it. Yeah. Fuck it. But anyway, what I was going with, at least make the segue relevant.
Okay, the segue,
I was thinking you want to relate like frozen yogurt.
The segue is when you have your frozen yogurt, you don't want to sprinkle too much shit on top. Right? Because I'm
with you.
You're modifying what it's supposed to be.
I'm with you.
Right?
I'm with you.
Keep it what it is.
Keep it simple.
I don't like people that put like,
keep it simple.
Bro,
keep it simple.
Listen, bro. All right? I'm bringing this back. I'm bringing this back.
Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back.
I'm bringing it back.
I'm bringing it back. We're cooked.
All right. I think we should probably move on to the
bring
next
it back.
part.
So bring it back.
Right, so you want to have a plain yogurt froyo?
No, I don't want.
You don't want to have like fucking M&M sprinkled all over the top and shit. Like it's not the authentic flavor, right?
I see what you're doing there.
Yeah.
I see.
Like people that like vanilla ice cream. You want just vanilla ice cream.
Yeah, they're boring.
You don't want to have like.
I don't want a fucking vanilla ice cream person.
Shout out, Navi.
Sorry, no. Yeah, but
I think this has gone off the rails.
This has gone off the rails.
I'm sorry, it was because
of me. Your fault. It's your fault. But I like it. I'm gonna stick. The analogy makes sense.
The analogy makes sense.
You're getting something authentic. Don't fuck it over with something fake.
Yeah,
I can take that.
Sure. You made it sound way better than what I was saying.
Yeah, thanks. I'm the analogy metaphor guy.
Yeah.
You you stick to whatever you do. Moving on. Next topic. Okay. But here's another analogy for you. This one I proper will segue because I did it in the last episode.
Okay.
Here we go.
Oh my God.
Back to dating. So no, don't.
Bro, just
don't. No.
Do you have any? Do you have no other ones?
I swear to God. No, I really don't. But I swear this is good. This is good.
This guy's been banned off a dating app, by the way. This is going off topic now, right?
Why would you say that?
This guy here got banned off one of the main dating apps. I'm not going to say which one. And it's for the most stupidest reason ever.
How is this relevant?
I don't know. We were talking about dating, so might as well get into it a little bit. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So you got banned from an app, right? You would think like he's done something messed up. This guy was literally promoting his photography business on a dating app. Like, what?
It's a thing. It's called free fucking advertising.
What?
Get with the times, okay?
You know, we should talk about this under the marketing one that we're going to do. How to market yourselves.
Oh, I forgot about that.
What not to do?
Don't market your business.
Market your business
on an online dating platform.
Oh, man.
I was making sense because, when people do the swipey, they'd see my business. That's what I thought. Good exposure. And I was targeting it more for not couples, obviously, because you're a single person.
This has nothing to do with what we're
I don't give a fuck.
Right
I'm keeping this in here.
Sure.
But it's like if you're a single person wanting to do a portfolio, here's my business. I just thought that was fucking genius. Got a conversion from that.
And then you got banned.
And then I got banned.
And now you can't even go on that app to like look for other people. Like,
no. So my
you gotta get a new phone number now.
Yeah, my app goes. Yeah. Well, the app goes. You need this number's permanently banned. I was gonna ask you for your number, and so I can.
I'm good, thank you.
No, so I can use your number. No. It's still my profile.
I'm okay. I'm alright. Yeah. Wait, how's that gonna work? If you use my number, aren't I gonna get like messages on my phone and shit?
No. That's just to create the profile.
And what your number's not used anywhere else?
No. They just needed an authentic number to register that you're...
So you can get my number banned?
Maybe. No, I'll be good, I promise.
But you go on there, you do the same shit again.
I won't do it. I swear to God. I won't advertise my business.
Bro, I haven't changed my number in like fucking 15 years.
How would you like to change your number in 15 years?
Although I don't really care.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm married anyway, so yeah.
I'll
give you my number.
Help a brother out, please. Yeah, that's all right. Thanks.
Yeah, all good. Anyways, back to what we're saying is...
okay, the next point.
The next point is the next red flag client... the next red flag photographer is the one that...
No, this is what I was going to say. I just remembered my analogy. That's why we got... Yeah, so back to my analogy, right? Dating. When you match or swipey with a chick or a guy and, hey, how's it going? Yeah, good. How are you? Yeah, good. How's your day? Yeah, really good. That's how they talk, apparently. And all of a sudden, they drop off communication.
Someone just ghosts you.
They ghost you, right? And that doesn't feel very nice, right? You're like, oh, well, fuck that guy or fuck that girl. So then you go and talk to another person because they actually show you attention. But then that person who ghosts you comes back and they're like, oh, hey, sorry, like I'm back. I'm making it sound like a dude because I feel like a lot of dudes do this shit. Sorry, men. Anyways, but then they
can't relate at all. I have no idea what he's talking about. It makes sense.
Yeah, sure. It makes sense. But then, hear me out. But then the guy's like, oh, hey, sorry, like I just got busy. It's a really bad experience for someone dating when they go, this person's ghosting me, like it's messed up. I don't like this on and off communication. They can't even have a conversation, so I can't even trust that this person's reliable. Now I'm going to bring it back.
Yeah.
The same analogy can be looked at in terms of vendor communication. If your vendor responds to you because you've sent the initial inquiry and then you respond back to them, I can understand, because this happens to us all the time where we get busy, like on a weekend especially, and we don't have the time to reply back.
Yeah.
But I can't understand when there's like 2 to 3 weeks gone at a time where the vendor doesn't respond back. And that's a bit of a red flag. Because
you know what? This happened to me.
Oh, really?
I was the one who didn't respond back for 2-3 weeks. And let me tell you why.
Oh.
The email went into my spam folder for some reason.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
And I didn't even know this person responded.
I didn't even think about that.
Right? And now it's been like 3 or 4. I think it was like maybe like 4 or 5 weeks gone. I'm like, just sitting there one day. I never check my spam folder.
Of course,
like,
who do the fuck checks their spam folder?
Right? There's enough emails to check on the inbox. To stay on top of. So I looked at it and I had a bride get back to me and she wanted to go ahead, but it just went to spam folder for some reason.
Oh no!
And then according to her, like I just ghosted her. And I was unprofessional.
You fucked up, but you didn't fuck up.
But then that's like a rare situation, I would say. Yeah. But what we're talking about is like someone who's just like lazy or not top of replying or whatever.
So I want to caveat just to reiterate. Ghosting is bad. Don't do that shit if you're dating or if you're a vendor, either way. But understand that there could be if we are playing devil's advocates, reasons why that person doesn't respond. In this case, spam folder. The other reason could be weekend. So they might be busy, which, mind you, is not an adequate excuse if your weekends are busy, but then
you should be getting back.
You should be getting back to them.
Yeah.
And thirdly, what's the third reason? You're just a dick.
Lazy.
Lazy, yeah.
Or you just
the
not on
third
top of your
reason is the
emails.
one that is the bit of a concern, right?
Or you're just so busy that you just don't have time, but then you need to like find like an admin
you
person.
got to
or
find
whatever.
something. You got to, because you shouldn't be treating like customers like that. That's not good.
Yeah.
So I think what I'm trying to reiterate here is that as a couple, you should look for a vendor that has prompt communication. In fact, fun fact, for couples that don't know this, for clients that don't know this is actually the other side of business and marketing. I think we should add this into another point. You're 20% more likely to convert business if you respond to them within the first hour. Did you know that?
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. So just a rule of thumb, guys, whenever someone responds to you very quickly, if you're a couple inquiring for a wedding, it's in their best interest because they obviously want the booking if they assumingly are free, but it shows the promptness and it shows that they're ready to serve you guys. So if they respond very promptly, that's a great sign. I've literally had couples respond to me going, hey, thank you so much for sending a quote within the first.
Really
We really appreciate that. And I've never thought how much that goes a long way, but it really does in terms of like building that rapport. So if a photographer, videographer, or even any vendor just doesn't respond to you and you want this person to do something with your wedding, slight red flag. Because how do you trust the credibility and the trust of that photographer to do their job effectively when they can't even show you a display of that skill or that value in just basic communication leading up to the wedding day?
Yeah.
Food for thought. Food for thought. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And another thing that comes to mind, which is the next point, is that now this obviously depends on the situation from business to business, but photographers who, for example, you market your business as being yourself, right? Because your face is quite a lot on your photography business. Now imagine a couple books you, right? But then now you've sent someone else to shoot the wedding, right?
Oh no.
But thing is, like, while this is a red flag for a photographer, it's kind of already too late now because it's at a point.
You don't know.
When you're identifying this red flag, it's already too late.
Okay, so let's talk about how to prevent that.
Now, this is the way you would prevent this is do a bit of vetting into the photographer you're going to book in, because if you're hiring a photographer that's already shot your friend's wedding, for example, or someone you know, and you know that they didn't rock up on the wedding day and they just sent some random person, right?
You're right.
Then that's a red flag, right?
Here's the time for an analogy.
Go on. Please let it be something else than dating.
It's dating. It's only ever dating. But you can't match with someone, do the swipey, talk to them for 3 to 4 weeks, and then when it comes time to actually meet for coffee or lunch or for a dinner,
Send your dad.
you said that's messed up. You can't send somebody else. You can't do a swap, a substitute, tag your it type. You can't. That's like proper catfishing. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Do you like that one?
Yeah.
That was a
I
good
think that was a decent one.
Thank you. I'll try with that one.
Yeah, sure.
It's the same thing. You can't. It depends, and I caveat this, right? Just being a bit more logical here. If you're inquiring with, say, a company structure who's a photography business, like they have multiple
and they've marketed themselves in the way that it's not a person.
The conversation that you need to have is, okay, we know that this team of photographers represent this brand. Can we identify who that photographer is going to be on the wedding day? Like, do we know who that's going to be?
Potentially ask them.
Who could potentially ask? That's number one. Yeah. Now, the studio might go back to you and go, look, unfortunately, no. It just has to depend.
We
don't really know, but we can trust that
someone will be there.
Yeah, someone will be there. And
wedding,
it'll be someone from a list of 10 people within our company. And it'll only ever be those 10 people. That is an ethical and very moral way to handle that conversation.
Yeah, so if you set yourself up as a business like that, then I guess as a couple, if you know that there's not like a specific person coming to your wedding to shoot, right?
Yep.
It's a team, one of the persons from the team. That's fine.
Correct.
That's fine. But I think what we're talking about is, like, let's say someone like you who markets themselves as just I am the business, right?
It is.
And
me.
now, if you take on a wedding, but now you send like some random to shoot the wedding.
So this is what I always do, right? So if I get an inquiry for, say, a wedding and the wedding date's free, and then say maybe the Sangeet Mehndi Haldi, any of the pre-wedding events for South Asian events, one of them I'm probably booked out or I'm doing something else. It's in my best interest, which I always do, to communicate that to my couple in advance before they book me, to go, hey, by the way, 4 out of 5 days of your wedding, I'm actually free. However, the one day that I'm not, I just want to let you know I can't be there, but I will send somebody from my team. You know, I've got a few people in my team now.
Yeah.
So the couple then have to decide, A, are they okay with that? B, if they're not okay with that, what are they going to do? because are they going to go, okay, well, we just want you, fair enough. I can respect that. Then find work other ways. That's okay.
Yeah.
But then you can't complain about going, oh, well, we got somebody else. You knew about this. You knew about this in advance.
And mind you, for the people that are like listening to this and they're like, oh, but yeah, we do want you for every day. Now, these second photographers that have been shooting for us are very experienced, right? Some of these guys have been doing it for years. They do a really good job.
Yeah, it got to a point when I first started, I'm like, hey, I'll just be upfront with you, man. Like, you know more than me in this scene. I'd much appreciate if you could kind of lead this. I'm obviously representing the business, but you're kind of here. And I remember when I first started, I was looking to these people as guidance, right? Because these people are very experienced. So don't look at second shooters as going, oh, they're not good. Incorrect. They're just as great.
I mean, for us anyway.
For us anyways. I can't speak for other people. And your photographers that you end up hiring, if you guys are couples listening to this, should have a team of people that they regularly use. And it's perfectly okay for you to ask that as a couple. Like, hey, like, do you have freelancers, or is it just people who actually work for you consistently? And your photographer should say, yeah, these people I shoot with me only for several years. I haven't had people who are random outside of that. So just bear that conversation in mind when you're having a chat about who the photographer is going to be leading up to a wedding day. That's a really good point.
Well, with the next point, I think we've already talked about this a little bit, which is about I feel like everything always just ends up going back to contracts with us.
Because it's like, that's where everything starts, right? That's where everything starts.
Yeah. But, I mean, we've already talked about how you should have a written contract with a photographer that you're booking. But now, if you come across a photographer who has a really loose contract, and by that I mean like they don't really have any contingency plans, right? And by like contingency plans, now couples probably wouldn't even think about this, right? Think about like storage. What happens to your photos after I shoot with them on your wedding day, right? Normally, and we've talked about this in a previous podcast.
Yep.
I back up everything when I come home onto like a NAS, which is like a multi-array hard drive. Then I make another backup on another hard drive, and then there's a third backup online, right? And now, obviously, that's just me being a bit more over the top paranoid because I really don't want to lose anything, right?
You gotta be.
But there's a lot of photographers out there who use like one backup system, which is like a single hard drive or whatever. Now, clients don't really know this, right? And this is something that I would do you have something like this in your contract?
Yeah, so now and again, through like trial and error, you figure out the ways your contract should be written to display that you take care and do your due diligence as a photographer.
I'm pretty sure from the top of my head, my contract says that I back up this is
yeah.
that.
So now I've had it in there because I'm like, this should be displayed and should be written just to showcase that, hey, you are taking a reasonable amount of effort to protect the images, right? There's also a clause in there that should be written from all photographers that also states that not every single photo is guaranteed. Now, what does that actually mean? Some part of it also relates to acts of God. God forbid, fucking your house burns down, some shit happens, you get mugged, whatever it is, like God forbid any of that. But there are sometimes certain situations outside of your control. And I've seen Reddit. COVID. Case in point.
Perfect example.
I've seen so many photographers being screwed over because their contracts weren't airtight. Yep. And I think sometimes as a couple, what you need to look for in order to vet a really good photographer is how airtight their contracts are to protect you guys and to protect them, right? If it's loose, if it's wishy-washy, if it sounds like it was just handwritten by a 12-year-old, question.
I'm pretty sure my one also says, I could be wrong, but I think my one also says that I use dual card slots in my cameras.
Yep.
I use two bodies on the photography day.
Yep.
So in case, I mean, like anything, camera is just a machine at the end of the day, right? And machines fuck up.
Machines fuck up sometimes,
right?
Yeah.
So if your photographer is only using like one photography camera and they don't have any backup, then what are you going to do?
Yeah.
If your photographer rocks up on your wedding day and the camera just doesn't work.
Yeah, like, I think the whole shooting with one camera thing is a bit of a concern. It's a bit of risk. Yeah. Like I know I've got two bodies with me all the time,
and each body that we use has dual card slots. And for the people that don't know what that is, it's basically each photo that we take is getting recorded twice at the same time to do two different cards, which eliminates even like a SD card going faulty or whatever.
And we've had that experience in the past, so we just need to be
the
careful
dual card slots have saved in the. I've been shooting weddings for like 10 years, but twice dual card slots have saved me.
Yeah.
Where one of my cards just got corrupted.
Fucked up,
All the photos were on the second card, no problem.
And that again, like an experienced, seasoned photographer will know and anticipate that this could happen and will
Mind you, this is very rare, by the way. Like SD cards getting like
It's
like,
the rarest of the
very rare.
rarest, and if it happens, it's
But at
sometimes,
least it's like you have a backup if it happens.
Correct. So when you're a couple, try and read through your contract to see like anal detail, like is stuff like that protect, like what are your actual contingencies here? And a photographer should have that written down. So just do your due diligence. Now that you know this from a photographer, from two photographers, these are the things that you guys can look for to go, okay, like these guys who are experienced veterans in this industry are saying, look for how anal a contract's supposed to be and all the details and nitty-gritties. These things are really important to actually
I
keep
feel
an eye
like we're
for.
like kind of going against what we said in the other one, which is like, how many megapixels is your camera?
Yeah, don't be that anal. Don't be that anal. Yeah. Don't be the, hey, like what camera brand do you use? Or, what fucking, I don't know, would you shoot on like a particular mode setting or not that anal. No, just to
It's
caveat.
just like that your photos and videos are protected. I think that's the main thing.
Correct.
Fair.
The next one's pretty easy. Reviews. Very simple. If the photographer that you're potentially hiring has a shit ton or a fuck ton of negative reviews and it's bad shit, and when you go through, you read the comments of why these reviews were written and they're legitimate stuff as well, bit of a concern.
What could be like a negative review, you reckon?
A negative review could be an example of this person was unprofessional, unkind on the day.
What does that consist of? Someone being unprofessional, for example? Would you say that's like someone who's
rude? Someone rude's
rude?
unprofessional.
Okay.
Yep. Someone rude, someone who's late, someone who's tardy, doesn't dress well, someone who doesn't know how to be a photographer, someone who isn't acting as a professional in that capacity, someone who talks back, someone
missing moments,
someone who's lazy. If that is summed up in a review time and time again and written,
you're still hiring,
that's on you. I can't even excuse that.
Yeah.
Now, I can flip the equation here and go, there are malicious people online who sometimes write negative reviews because they want to write a negative review. They're probably a sad person living in a sad place. It is what it is. So don't think of it as just one negative review and then all of it's bad. If it's multiple negative reviews by multiple different people, okay, worth looking into. But if it's one negative review and it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense, question it a little bit. Like,
because some people might want to just talk shit for no reason.
Yeah, talk shit, get hit type. Like have a bit.
All right.
Talk shit, get hit.
Yeah.
Talk shit, get hit. No. Okay.
Sure. And then go to jail.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. But do like have a bit of discretion here. Like use your common sense. Look at reviews. So now let's just say you've got a situation. Moving on from that point to this one, where you've looked at a photographer. You're in the early consult stages. And for some reason, they seem to be pressuring you a lot. Now, pressuring you for no reason is the concern that I have. The only time, and I don't even want to use the word pressure, I communicate to a client saying, by the way, I might need you guys to, just think about your decision a little bit more promptly, is when I've got another following
booking,
inquiry for that day. And you do this and I do this. And it's very normal.
That's just a normal thing to send a client, let them know that, hey, look, I've received another inquiry. Can you guys get back to me? Otherwise, I have to go with the other client.
So if some reason you're getting a message from someone continuously, constantly, like they just like abruptly be like, hey, where you at? By the way, did you get my message? Hey, I just called you. You didn't respond. Hey,
mind you, I don't even do I don't even, most of the time we don't even get back to people, right? Because as I said earlier, that we normally have like 5 people contacting for the same day.
Yep.
So, and we've talked about how much we get ghosted all the time.
Very normal.
Those two things combined, half the time it's not even you don't even have to tell the clients that I've got another inquiry. You just book whoever's paying deposit
100%,
first.
100%. And that's the part where I think is really important. Like if your photographer is seeming to just pressure you a lot just to book in their that's not cool, man. No chick or guy wants to go on a date and someone says, hey,
come down,
come sleep with me.
I don't know who's doing that.
I don't know, but it's pretty messed up. But no one forces anyone. You shouldn't be. I
want you to have a challenge. I want to give you a challenge.
Oh, fuck, here we go.
Can I give you a challenge?
What's the challenge?
Next time you have bring up an analogy.
I refuse. Yeah? I decline. No. It's only ever going to be with dating. I know what you're saying.
I don't want it to be anything to do with dating.
I can't. Yeah. It's the one thing that I can appreciate. The most...
Brother starving.
It's a sad place.
Make it sound so miserable.
I'm very sad. But
back to the point.
No one should force you into any decision, right? In anything in life, not just photography. And if your photographer, videographer, or L vendor is really forcing you into something that you're not comfortable with, just to be like, hey, I need a bit of time to decide. And they're being too much of a salesperson. Like, you know when someone's trying to sell you shit. It's like you go to a car sales store, right? And you know that there are some fucking pushy salespeople, and they just want.
They don't give a shit
They
about
don't give
your-
a fuck. They don't give a fuck about you. They just literally want to sell you something because they want to earn commission. You can again. I have to say it. I'm an energies person. I am an energies person. No, don't look at me like that. I swear to God. You know, I'll talk to the camera. I'm an energies person, right? So there are so many times where I just get the feeling of something where I just get the feelings of something sick. Come on, man. Where I just get the feeling of someone really trying to just.
You know what I haven't heard in a while? Juju vibes. That's your thing as well.
I was leading you into it.
Oh my.
They give you bad juju vibes, man. And they try and sell you something so badly that you don't even want it. It's not even the right fit. It's like, why would you try and sell me a fucking, I don't know, what's the most shitty car you can think of?
Holden Cruise.
I drive a Holden Cruise, man. Is that the only car?
You told me, like, you asked me a question.
Yeah.
Go with that.
Fucking hell.
When someone's trying to sell you
A Holden Cruise, but I want
a RAV4.
I can't see it because this fucking shit there drives a RAV4. Yeah, like, it's obviously not the right fit for me. This analogy doesn't make sense because I drive a fucking Holden Cruise.
How about we flip it the other way around?
No.
Someone's trying to sell you a RAV4.
But that's an upgrade, though. I wouldn't mind a RAV4 compared to that. Your analogy's flawed.
All right, just go.
Let me stick to the analogy.
Go back to dating. Go to dating.
Analogies guy.
Dating analogy.
Analogies guy. I'm the analogies guy.
As long as it makes sense, just go back to dating.
Yeah, all right. But that's an example of someone selling me something that's not right for me. Your photographer, videographer should not be like, go with me. I'm the right person. I'm top shit.
What's a dating analogy for that? Someone who's like, comes across as proper perfect?
A guy with an ego complex.
Okay.
And I'm just fucking throwing in the mud,
So,
my own gender here. No. No. What do you mean?
Is that you on dating apps?
Fuck off.
No?
No, I'm humble.
Maybe I thought.
You're
humble guy.
I'm humble. Please stop it.
Yeah.
No, but imagine a guy on a date and they're like, hey.
Yeah.
And they're basically like, oh yeah, like, girls want me all the time. Fucking amazing. Who are you? First of all.
Yeah.
Second of all, go fuck yourself. No one behaves like that. They're trying to put themselves up there to go, I'm in demand. I'm top shit. It's like you.
But hold on, isn't this opposite of what we're talking about now?
No. I'll explain.
Okay.
As a photographer, if you're like, you got an ego complex and you're basically you're trying to be pushy. Be like,
Okay.
do you want me? Otherwise, I'm gonna go. What do you want? You want me?
They're kind of just like faking it.
Yeah. And they'll make it seem as if though
they're super busy.
they're super busy, that they live this very flashy photography lifestyle, that you're going to be replaced, that you're just a number, and that if you either want me or take me, and that they're going to sort of pressure you in a very discreet sort of a way. That's bad. That's bad etiquette. It's unethical. It's not moral at all.
And then they'll just run away with your money to another country.
Shout out to that.
Which is what we started off with.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. But nothing good comes from pressuring anyone. And if you're a client looking to hire a vendor, and the vendor's treating you in a way where you feel a bit pressured to do shit that, like, I'm not ready to sign.
If it doesn't feel right, listen to your guts. Listen to your guts. No, it's not free. It's not a. I'm not talking about like energy.
No, you are. You are. You don't admit it. You are. You actually are.
My thing. Listen to your gut. Okay.
Juju
the gut feeling that you have, right? Is most of the time it's right.
Juju vibes.
No.
Juju vibes.
I refuse.
I
refuse.
encourage.
I refuse.
You mean energy.
I refuse.
He means energy. He just doesn't know it yet.
No. It's your gut feeling. Yeah, not energy.
Energy.
Anyways, I think this is going off rails now. I think we'll probably close this by now.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We've done a lot here. I was pretty happy with that. I think we've gone through all the points.
Funnily enough, this episode is not as long as the other one, which is the red flag clients. We tried our best. I think
when I look at the timestamps between the two, The other one we were speaking on
I think it'll
over
probably
an
be like
hour.
another 20 minutes extra than this. Yeah.
Fuck, that's sad. I'm so sorry.
We tried to,
guys.
like, make this as long
we
as
really
possible.
tried. Like,
Yeah.
don't think that we're just in the perspective of photographers. Like, we're not considering you guys. That's not it at all. No. No, I'm being serious.
Yeah, I know.
Don't make it look
Why
like
do you think I'm not?
you gave me a look. I don't know. I was a bit concerned the way you looked at
Yeah.
me just then.
Alright.
Yeah, no. I'm trying to be a bit more like neutral here.
Okay.
I
Anyways.
just know that when I'm passionate about something,
Yeah.
as a photographer, it tends to make me speak a little bit more longer on it.
Fair enough.
All right,
It's
let's just
interesting. Very interesting.
fuck off.
Yeah.
Let's just segue out of this now because I'm uncomfortable.
Goodbye.
Good. What's that song? Did you watch?
Bye. Bye.
No.
That's like a.
That's the Arabic one.
Arabic
I'm talking
one,
about
yeah.
This is after your time.
What do you mean after my time?
Oh yeah. No, this is my time. I know I'm younger than you.
Yeah.
No. So have you ever watched on ABC, the Bear in the Big Blue House?
The fuck is that?
Bye, bye, good friends, goodbye. I actually don't know what happens after that, but it's the bear who comes out and he just waves goodbye, and he's just ended. It's a very melody. Fuck, I can't English. It's got a nice melody. Bye, bye.
Was this like Cheese TV or something?
No. Oh, shout out to Cheese TV. No, this was on
my time is Cheese TV. Like back in the day.
fuck off.
OG.
I was also Cheese TV.
But your time of Cheese TV was shit.
What do you
I
mean?
had better Cheese TV cartoons.
Did you?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. But I don't know. I just remember this bear in the big blue
Yu-Gi-Oh,
hat.
Pokemon, Dragon Ball
No,
Z.
fuck off. I grew up on all of that shit. What's wrong with you?
What else did you have?
Pokemon?
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh? Naruto?
Yeah, see, this is like new age shit. We didn't have Naruto on back in our day. It's more like Digimon and shit.
I grew up on Digimon.
Yeah.
Pokemon. Heart of the Cards, Dragon Ball Z, all of that shit for, yeah.
Heart of the
The
Cards.
fucking Yu-Gi-Oh
So
stuff.
this guy doesn't even know what it's called. Heart of the Cards.
No, he says that. He says that he says that. But
What's the name of the dragon?
Blue Eyes White Dragon. Go fuck yourself, motherfucker. Yeah, that's right. I know this shit. No, but Bear in the Blue House is like after 3 o'clock when you come home from school on
okay.
ABC.
I was out playing cricket or something.
I was at home.
I never came home.
I was at home watching.
What a sad life.
I was at home eting chips and getting
Yeah.
fat as a little kid.
fair.
But he comes out and says, bye. Yeah. Well, I feel like I'm just trying to drag this episode longer so I
over
can
the hour
morally
mark.
be acceptable. The fact that I'm trying to be neutral with this and it's not working.
It's got nothing to do with
It's
what
not
we're supposed to
working.
talk about. Yeah. Anyways, let's
Fuck
just
it. Let's just end off this
yeah.
episode.
All
If
right.
you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button, comment down below. Let us know if there's any other parts that you'd be like, hey, you know what? I was a client that hired a photographer and these are the things that I should have looked out for. Put in the comment section
If
below.
you had a bad experience with a
If
photographer,
you had a
I
bad
want to know as
experience,
well.
hopefully none of it's to do with us. That'd be
Yeah,
concerning.
hopefully none of it's to do with the person that we talked about as well.
Oh, as in the photographer that we mentioned?
Yeah, the one that just did a runner. But I'm talking about like just general
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
maybe.
true. If you guys have had a bad experience with a vendor,
us know.
don't. By the way, don't have to be photo, video. It could be anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know. I'm very curious to see what happens out there.
We started to get more people replying on YouTube videos, which is good.
That's
Because
very
we
good.
reply back and we'll
Yes,
we'll
we
take
engage.
feedback
We
as well.
engage.
Yeah.
Well, we've
Yeah.
got an episode coming out,
Yeah.
which we're supposed to record today, but we didn't. We'll record another next week, which is a guy who emailed into us saying hey, how do you market your businesses? And that's a really good one because I know that every single one of those points, by the way, if you're not a photographer, videographer, that's totally fine. It's still very applicable to every other industry. Like we're running a business, and again, couples, you don't have to listen to this if you don't want to run a business, that's fine. But if you do, these points are going to be, creme de la creme of marketing 101 that no one even knows of. And by the way, I was a marketing grad, so I've got a marketing degree. Little flex there.
Well, I mean, it's not really a flex if you're not really using that degree anymore. Just like I'm not using my degree anymore.
What did you do? What did you do?
Accounting.
You give me shit for it.
Yeah,
At least mine's somewhat relevant because I've got a business that I market for. What the
it's
fuck
like-
do you do?
No,
The fuck do you
listen,
do?
So many photographers that I know are either like ex-accountants or ex-IT. Like legit.
Well, I mean, I can name drop here, but shout out to Rolling Canvas Boys because I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure they were.
I think they were ex-accountant
stuff.
IT
or
as well, I
IT
think.
or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
Accounting or IT
Yeah.
or something. They were corporate.
Yeah.
They were corporate back in
Yeah.
the day. Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like they've gone. They've tried
like
that.
Sid, I think he was like
Was he?
ex-IT or accounting as well.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
IT. I think they've
Yeah.
probably gone, this lifestyle isn't for me.
Yeah.
And then they just went and bought a camera.
Bro, almost
instead.
everyone. I think even Rohan, even I don't know who else I can think of.
There was, I mean, I know a few other boys who have left their corporate to join
Yeah.
full-time photography.
Yeah.
So
In other words, we all did degrees, and now we got a bunch of hex left over that we didn't use the
rest
degrees
in peace
for.
to my hex.
Shout out to everyone that
Like this comment if you can relate. Like this video if you can relate.
Oh man, this has really gone off the rails. Anyway, so we're gonna go. I'm not even gonna say like, subscribe, bro.
Fuck it.
Peace.
Fuck it. Don't like it. Don't like. Don't like it.
Bye bye.